Okay, we're live. So I started this live. If you're watching this in the future, like, comment, and share. If you see it on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, like, comment, and share. Because I want to make this painstakingly clear as the people are trying to misinterpret my words and my language. I am not for nobody's genocide. And I laugh because it tickles me how people will try to manipulate my words and my language in order to make it seem like that my support of Kamala is somehow transitory to me saying, you know what, bomb them people over. That's not me. Any of you who've been following me, oh God, it's cold out here. We're going to go back inside and get a jacket. Any of you who've been following me know with a certainty that, or at least should be able to tell, I'm for winning. I am for doing the things that make sense, that add up. And I shouldn't have to explain myself, but I'm going to, because I'm going to be posting a lot about Kamala for the next couple of weeks, and I pray she wins the election. But to the people that are like, Jill Stein, why don't you vote for her, blah, 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 blah. Again, if she could showcase that her and the Green Party are actually trying to really work a change and not just keep being like, let's go for president, then I would do it. And y'all can feel free to comment as y'all are in here live. Some of y'all are probably just coming in here to be like, what are you talking about, and then leaving. But the biggest thing for me is I have to be with, James, I have to be with what makes sense. Jill Stein never makes sense. Kamala makes sense. And for those who are like, well, you got to go with the Green Party and 4 years later and blah, 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 I need y'all to understand, as a plant biologist, I cannot wait 4 years for, what is this? I should have told this woman I'm already voting. I'm already going to vote. Why did you leave this on my door? For the people, hey, Joe James, I know you was happy to be in here. You know what? I may regret this. If any of you want to join me on this live, y'all are more than welcome to. But why would I call you a Trump supporter? It might have been somebody else. Now, I did not call you a Trump supporter. Did I call you a Trump burner account? Yes. Because if you're gonna quote an insult that I said to you, let's quote it right. Say it right. That's what Nelly ain't talking. There we go. Walked out of the range of my Wi-Fi. That's what Nelly Furtado said. She said, say it right. I said you was a Trump burner account. I said you was back there with Trump with his tiny hands like, hello, you have to delete this. This is wrong. The people are going to see you wrong. That's my impersonation of Trump. Anywho, when it comes to this world we live in, me being a plant biologist and seeing how the seasons have shifted so much, and I don't know if Dr. Bourdain is still in here, and any other scientist whose area of focus can be greatly impacted by the climate. But hey there, T at the bottom. I see you just joining. But when it comes to this world we live in, the climate has shifted so much in the 30 odd years that I have been alive, right? Back home on the coast, I can remember it snowing every year. We got a snow. We'd get snow days, multiple snow days. And now I'm like, where is the snow at? Snow is a rare occurrence. Soon I'm going to be telling the grandkids. They're not going to believe me. Whenever I do have children, which I probably won't because it's too expensive and I can't afford to live. The world is a crazy place. And if Trump wasn't in office at one point and was threatening to get back in, maybe I would vote green and give it a chance and try to say, let's change it up. But even then, I probably wouldn't, because they're not changing their MO. They're just going the same way. Do I know how much military affects the climate? Military and colonialism has affected the climate negatively, right? So all of us every day have to drive to work in cars that are spewing out so much CO2 and other fumes, right? We are on highways and byways that have been bulldozed over through natural lands. So all of you are seeing natural lands being taken and ran amok, right? Wildscapes, green areas are being ran down, bulldozed over to build yet another gas station or one of them darn storage unit places. Say whatever you want about Kamala, her policies that are going to help not only support land restoration and conservation, but actually pull from indigenous sources is something you can't say about Jill and them. You can't say that about Trump. Kamala is going to do that, protecting the land. We only have this much earth left. All of these plants that you all drive and roll over and don't really care about as much as me, and this isn't to say it in a negative way, but I'm obsessed with plants. All of these plants that you're seeing are putting out the air that we need to breathe. And I'm a whole asthmatic. I have asthma. I have to breathe. I need these to be existing. So that is a big part of that. In addition to go into what Joe is saying, because Joe is saying a lot, and I will go for this first part. He mentioned the fracking piece. When she mentioned that, my heart broke, because I'm like, now, wait a minute. And I don't like that. But when it mentions the land conservation, that's on their plan, their website, working with the Bureau of Land Management and indigenous populations. And this isn't just what I feel, Joe. This is what I know. I'm not for no fracking, but I got to take the best I can. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. Reason I'm developing phenological walks to increase understanding of rapid changes. Yes, developing walks. The world is shifting. And when this world shifts, and it's already gotten to the oh no point, right? They've already said we're past a point of a great return unless some miracle pretty much happens as far as global warming, climate change, and CO2 in the air. What are we going to do? Okay, we can work with a dim executive branch. We cannot affect change without a democracy blowout. Fingo bongo. And then, Joe, to answer your question, what's the difference between me calling you a Trump supporter and calling you Trump? I'm not calling you some random person. I'm calling you King Cheeto. Your system in the U.S. handcuffs you. The system in Canada isn't much better. I feel like most political systems, I've not seen any that I know, and I could be wrong, that I'm like, that's a good system. Like that. Like I remember learning about, I think, the Greeks, and they had two people of opposing belief systems, and both of them had the rule. And I'm like, then that would be good because you could have even a counterbalance in that and get to a third alternative. But there's nothing I've seen that's perfect. This is where I keep saying there's no perfect candidate. No such thing. There's no candidate that will ever agree with everything I agree with. And they won't agree with everything you agree with. And if you look in your friends group, your friends that you all have and you know and love, the people, not just the people you just, that's my friend, I see him every so often, but people you really keep around you, how similar are all of you? How many views do you all share? I have sisters I keep close to me, a couple of brothers I have that I really enjoy and I love and I value, that are not family, but people I just have close. And we are not all thinking the same. We are not agreeing on everything. And that's all right. We agree on enough to make it by. And that's where I'm here with Kamala. I mean, she's not like right behind me. Wouldn't that be cool though? Wouldn't that be cool though if I was like, that's where I'm here. She came out laughing. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Anywho, whenever I meet her, I need her to say that. But I can't be delusional and go for Green Party and then be like, okay, 4 more years. We vote for them now, and even if they do get the 3%, now we got to wait 4 more years for the chance of them to... I can't wait on that because nature's being ran amok. The world is being ran amok, and a Trump presidency can mean the ruin of the little bit of rights that I enjoy as a black person. Let me see. Thinking that we are going to have a president, a leader, the whole country will meet all of a single person's political view is delusional. I think ranked choice voting is the way to make changes. Like, to be even more honest, like, I feel like we exist in a world now, and everybody doesn't have accessibility to internet and computers and cell phones. But we exist in a world now where we can get a lot of people's viewpoints outside of us voting for president. Like, we could vote in a different way on different policies and show what we feel as individuals for the most part. Kamala is literally putting Republicans in her cabinet. That part I don't remember. Harris allows room for discourse, bingo bongo. She's trying to be bipartisan. Kamala or chaos. Kamala or chaos. Now, I like that, but it's a big thing. And again, I'm here for the plants. So a lot of people are looking over to what's happening in Israel, again, ignoring all the other genocides going on. Whether America has funded it or not, genocide is just horrible. But I look at this world, and I see a world that's shifting in a way that is insane. We are steadily building and running over, here in North Carolina, for example, wetlands. Once you bulldoze a swamp, you can never turn it back, right? Once you pull down all these trees, you can plant the same population of trees, but you're never going to get it back. The animals have moved out, all that happens, right? We shift the dynamic. And again, we lose these things that are making the air that we breathe. We need every one of them. I think about bee collapse and that happening and being like, dang, there's going to be no pollinators left. I think about all of these other things. So it's not just genocide, but it's genocide and. There's a series of situations going on just as complex in my life as the ecosystems behind me. I have to consider, can I afford a house? Or am I just going to be sitting here paying for an apartment that I'll eventually not be able to afford? Hey there in Toronto. I have to consider, will these student loans ever really disappear like they say? Will the world get less expensive? I make 6 figures in my day job. And magically, it's not enough money to live. I was making $40K not that long ago. It's not enough money, and that's definitely not enough money to live. I don't think anyone, and this isn't something Kamala said, this is something I say, I don't think anyone should be making, as far as a salary, less than 60 or so thousand a year. Thank you. This person's letting me cross the street. I don't think anybody should be making $60 or so $1,000 a year. I don't even care if it's flipping burgers at McDonald's. Like, people should not have to work multiple jobs, whether it's at McDonald's or you are the CEO director of a Fortune 500. You should, unless you really want to, you should be able to afford your life. So, bingo bongo. I live on the coast in NC, and we lose so much of our green space. Matt, where are you from? I'm from the coast too. That's why it's important to be involved in local politics as well. Exactamundo. The state and the federal are making some changes that are going to really help us, but locally, I've realized I need to learn who my people are. Because I vote, and then I just go off into my own world. I need to learn and get deeper into politics. And politics has been a little confusing for me. I'll be honest with that. So I know, like, okay, I don't like what this person says. Okay, this. But as I've gotten deeper into politics, I'm like, it's a sucky situation all around. And I come from the coast as well. I'm back home, especially if you're going on 70 to Moorhead and Newport. They've been expanding the highway, which has torn down some businesses and torn down forests. They can rebuild those businesses in new locations, and it'll be a new building, whatever. Again, you cannot restart a forest and make it as it was. Wilmington, okay. Mark my words, So here's the thing. You keep saying a lot of information, Joe, but Joe, you haven't really posted any or shown me anything that stands behind what you say. And then somebody did say, I skipped over it because I feel like it was Joe. She supports Cop City. I don't even know what that means, but I don't think she does. Like, I feel like a lot of stuff that I've seen, that I've researched, that I've looked up, says a little the opposite. And I get it because on Twitter, I seen she was locking people up. There was one video that was hilarious. And it's like her at Howard State, and they took her speech and they clipped it. And it was terrible, but it was funny. I laughed, right? Because it's always silly to me that they can just take your speech and then just rearrange clips to make you say something else. I don't know who even thinks like that, but that's just amazing to me. But the biggest thing is Joe can't read her record because Joe can't read. When it Ooh, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Anywho, this is why I don't do lives when I'm already in a spirit, because then I start popping off at the mouth and I don't need to. Anywho, I worry about Project 2025 and what it means on our freedoms. I'm a social media person, and I want y'all to know, hey, Rich, I'm a social media person, and I already can see inequalities on social media when people report me and I get my post taken down, and then people call me all sorts of N-words. Y'all thought I was going to say it. You thought I was going to say it. They call me slave. I've been called a slave. I've been called all sorts of N-words. I've been called monkeys and servants and butlers. And I report those people, and those posts still stay up. So I can't imagine a world post a 2025 project that Trump said he's not reporting, or he's not supporting, and then he is. This man was up here lying, saying people were eating cats and dogs, black people, Roseanne Barr, on a stage saying black people are eating babies and people and they're vampires. This is an entire crazy world we live in. I'm a gem for contributing my botany knowledge. Thank you. I do what I can. I see the world through plants. If the plants are okay, then we're okay. If all these plants are growing and healthy, then we are growing and healthy. But if every one of these plants decided to lift up roots and fly into the stratosphere and to go to the moon or Mars or somewhere else, we're donezo. I'm just going to play that song by that woman. Tell me how I'm supposed to breathe with no air. That's what I'm going to play. So I'm all for candidates that are supporting the environment in a specific way or a certain way. They're not all doing perfectly by it, but they are supporting the environment within a situation. Unless we go with them, look, them plants pack up, they're going to let me know beforehand. And I'm going to get my stuff, cobble it all together. I started walking to get me some food, and I really don't know what I want. I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. But it is what it is. A house person. Oh, they called me all sorts of stuff, Joe. You see how you didn't type it? This is how I know you ain't black. You see how you didn't type the word and you said person? There's a white person running that account. Why did you say she called for a ceasefire? Because I showed you the video. Joe, do you got all the timers? You're starting to act like another Joe. The way they do him on that SNL tickles the bejesus out of me. Speaking of no air, just saw this article about how Planta in 2023 soaked up carbon. What? Oh, you're reminding me because I don't know what you're saying to me, Matt Cass. I saw an article, beautiful article, that was like, they discovered a new type of wood. And this wood was able to apparently absorb carbon more effectively or efficiently or holding more carbon. I don't know. But that had me like ecstatic because I've often wondered, like, why can't we just make the plants suck up more carbon until we can stop putting it all out there? Let me see. The Inflation Reduction Act has done so much for climate plants than any other policy in history. Look, that Kamala at the thing in Greenville on Sunday, was that yesterday? When she was like, we're going to try to make the world less expensive. I said, go ahead on. So, it's horrible. This world we live in is just a chock full of mess. So when people come to me and they're like, well, you don't care about genocide. I do. But I also know if you're here posting and you're about to be evicted because you can't avoid your rent, then you can't help a soul because you need to be focused on paying your rent. I feel so powerless seeing these videos of these Gazans screaming out for help, hearing about different pages I follow on Twitter just gone. I hate this. I truly do. And I hope that by voting something can change, but it has to be a full system of change. Let me go ahead and take a screenshot of this. Thank you. Thank you, Matt. Did I? I don't know how I did it. This is how Joe talks to me. He be like, no, you don't. See. This is how Joe down here, Joe James, this is how he talks to me. I don't know why he's up here and I'm doing this to him. Let me read one of his comments. Why not take the post down of her pretending to call for a ceasefire? Joe James is who I am, and I'm from Philly. Just born Philly cheesesteaks. Chopped cheese, son. Johns and all of that. You would not post about Kamala opposing a ceasefire. Ooh, why am I like this? Why is Joe like this? Anywho, let's see. Y'all know what I want. I really want some chicken, but there's not any place to get some good fried chicken within walking distance. I guess I can go to Chipotle because I did want some Mexican, but I don't really want that. It's just so stupid. Please say more, James. Please. But it's people, to be honest, and I'm going to stop riffing on James for a second. It's people like him. How do I get this off? It's people like him that help me to be better and to grow better. They challenge the information I think I know or I don't even know at all. So I appreciate you coming up here. And even though I'm not for the BS and you being like, well, no, you didn't post this. Yes, you did post this. She said this and you just making stuff up. I'm appreciative for people like that. So that's all I had to say. Again, a lot of people are trying to down me and clown me. I've had like 300 people unfollow me. Meh. Like, it is what it is. But my biggest thing is, get out there and vote. I'm here in North Carolina. North Carolina, I feel like, has been red more times than not in my lifetime. And keep in mind I'm 30. But just get out there and vote. Ooh, I almost fell. Get out there and vote. And whoever you vote for, exercise your right to vote. I would love for all of us to vote blue down all them ballots and really turn it out and start to fight climate injustices and undo Trump-era abortion bans and everything else of that nature. Ceasefires all around and get this world to a better place. I walked down the street here. In the woods I passed that I showed you all, there are people who are living in the woods. It's a good 60, 59 degrees outside right now. And there are people who are literally camped out in these woods all over the triangle, all over North Carolina, living in the forest. I've never been camping before, but that's a choice if you go and you do it when you want to, not just to be like, oh my God, this is where I have to live and it's cold and going to potentially rain. I would love for there to be things that make the world less expensive so these people can get the help they need. But that's all I had to say. I didn't want to be up here this long on the live. If y'all are hating on me for my voting and who I'm voting for, I'm sorry. But I'm going to vote for Kamala, and I'm going to promote and talk about her. And if we agree to disagree and you still follow me, phenomenal. If not, it's okay. Like they say somewhere in the Bible, you can't always get what you want. So with that being said, if you try sometimes, you might find you get what you need. Democrats are in office, and this is a good point. See, this is why I like people like Joe, because he's helping me to make great points. Democrats are in office, but they've had a lot of Republican obstacles and things in the way, right? A lot of blocks and barriers, right? So you can see me now, because I'm a Democrat, but there's a block in the way. And those blocks have been people in the Supreme Court who've been like, nah, we ain't gonna let y'all get this student loan debt forgiveness going on. We're gonna block it. People who were like, nah, roll back abortions, because even though people who are the biggest anti-abortionists have gotten them, we're gonna do it. Mark Robbins in North Carolina, crazy man, the product of all this foolishness, right? So Democrats are in office, but we don't have the odds stacked in our favor. And what did Gamut say before he gave his life to save Genosha in 96? The odds are always in Gamut's favor. Joe, you might be one of my biggest supporters. Joe James, everybody, please give him a round of applause. He has been supporting me for the last day, and it brings a tear to my heart. Right here, this is where my heart is. Right here brings a tear to it. And you are right, I'm not fundamentally understanding what's happening. I cannot fathom the level of support that you are giving me, the level of LOVE love that you are giving me. Oh. You know, I asked God the other day for a sign, James, and it was you. Habo Shada, Hanabo Shada. So with that being said, if all hearts and minds are clear, I'm hopping off of here because I got to figure out what I'm going to eat tonight. I did not take the meat down I was supposed to. I see why my mom and them used to be mad. They come after a hard day of work and the meat's still frozen. I'd beat me too. With that being said, y'all have a good day.